My name is Darren. I'm one of the co-founders of Mpool and League. Today we're going to talk about building a content calendar. So first of all, what is a content calendar? Essentially, it's a plan. And you can see from the tiny screenshot here, a content calendar that includes a date, that thing's going to be posted, what's going to be posted, and an important part about a content calendar is the ability for a strategy or writer person to explain why that piece of content is being posted. So before you can start this, you need to have a content strategy. If you haven't watched our video on developing content strategy, watch that before you continue. You need to know how your existing content has been performing, and you also need to know how your keywords in your keyword strategy are performing and where you're currently ranking for those keywords. So what are you going to do in this process? Well, after this training video, you'll be able to create a content calendar that is 4 weeks to 3 months long. That's generally a good length of a content calendar because it allows you to take into consideration kind of current events. The next thing is how to use your content strategy as a guideline. Remember, it is a guideline. You can vary from that strategy based on what's happening in the environment as you create this content calendar. Then you need to facilitate a brainstorm between the strategy people, the writing people, and the client to create a brilliant content calendar. Get your client's input finally, and then last of all is create content briefs based off this content calendar so that the writers and content producers can begin creating this content. So first thing that you do in a content calendar is identify when is it best to post. So the suggestion here is to use different combinations of days. So in the example here, we've used Tuesday, Wednesday, then we've used Tuesday and Thursday, then we go Wednesday and Thursday and Monday and Tuesday. The important thing here is to not just immediately start posting on the same days, because you'll get no insight then as to days that your personas prefer reading. So use different combinations, and by all means, if you have worked out the formula that it works best for you to post on a Tuesday and a Friday, for example, then stick to that. But for the first couple of months, you need to vary that all the time. So the next stage is to literally take from your content strategy. So you've got date. Over here, you can get your persona from your content strategy, your buying stage from your content strategy, your campaign, and which asset you'll be using. So take this information from your content strategy and plot it into your content calendar. Then you're going to select keywords. So for every single campaign, you should have done keyword research, and you should be able to include a keyword that you want to target for that campaign. Creating content is not cheap. It takes a lot of resources from time and financial resources as well. So making sure that your content you're producing is keyword optimized adds to the distribution strategy. Just relying on email and social media to get your content out there is not going to give you the return on investment you need. So you have to bring in search engine optimization and keywords. So in this example here, the brand that we're working for sells restaurant management software. The target persona is a restaurant owner. They are the stage of buying that we're creating content for is the top of funnel, and the campaign that we're going to go after then is food trends. And you can see here's 3 examples of keywords that might come out of that keyword research and how many searches there are. So you can see the keyword food ideas has the most search volume and is probably the most logical to go after from a keyword ranking perspective. So now what you go and do is you take your content calendar that you've created, and for each campaign you identify the keyword that you want to target. Then there should be a handful, 10 to 15 strategic keywords that are absolute essential for your client to rank for. For example, this client is a hardware store. And they've identified 3 keywords here: hardware store, DIY shop, and building supplies, that are really, really important for them to rank. And your strategic keywords should essentially be looped through your content calendar And when your writer begins writing, they should ensure that that keyword is in there at least once. That enables you to build internal links within your site, going back to key anchor pages within your site and improving your search engine optimization. The next area you need to consider for your content calendar is who's the author of this article. Now, unlike press releases, content on blogs are always written in first-person format. Yes, most of the time this is ghost written, so the actual writer may be the CEO or sales director, marketing director of a company. They're not actually writing the article, it's been written for them. But their tone and their style and their stories need to come through in those articles to make them interesting. You'll notice that there are often blogs on the exact same topic, but some blogs have huge following, and that's because the author tells stories in a particular way. So when creating content, you have to build in story curation from the author. So that probably means that you're going to have a call with the author and get them to relay a story, whether they, in the example here, kind of love fishing and they tell a story about fishing and how, and then go into the part about their product, or maybe they're an avid rock climber. The next area is article type. So we have several article types that we use at MPOO and League. Now this is purely for helping us brainstorm titles and to also make sure that we don't use the same article type over and over and over, which makes your content boring. You often find that certain blogs are always starting with a number. For example, 5 reasons why, or 10 ways to, or 8 secrets you didn't know. We call those listicles. And if you're using article types, it's around about, at the moment, we've got around 18 of those article types. So only every 18 articles will you get the same style article. So now that you have set up your content calendar with your stuff from your content strategy, your keywords, your authors, your article types, it is now time to call a brainstorm with your internal team. So who needs to be in there? The write-in team or content producing team, the strategy team, an editor that understands the industry your client is in. You must come prepared with all that, with the basic skeleton of a content calendar. And in this brainstorm, as you go through each article that needs to be produced, the strategy team need to highlight key facts from past performance based on this type of article type or this persona or this campaign or this keyword, so that it helps inform future decisions on what content to produce. The next thing is to check your campaign library. So like for each campaign, you should always have at least 10 articles ready to be used in a campaign library that you can literally just pull across into a content calendar. If there's nothing in the campaign library, that also flags that you need to build a project to create more content for that campaign library. And then using all the data from persona to keyword, the next thing is to come up with a article title. And essentially that title needs to include the keyword, and then, as I say, take into account all the other items in the content calendar and content strategy. Once you have a first draft of a content calendar, it's time to go and get client input. You'll probably have to re-educate the client as to why you're not writing only about their product. So explain the importance of top of funnel content and attracting people that don't even know that they need you yet. The other thing is learn from their feedback. So in the initial stages, they'll probably have lots of feedback. I don't like this type of article, or do more of these type of articles, or don't write about this particular thing. Learn from that, take notes, record ideas that come up in this brainstorming session in a campaign library so they can be used in the future. And once you've gone through your content calendar with your writer and your client in the same room, you can then finalize your content calendar and move into the briefing stage. So as a task for today, go over to offers.mpool.com /academy academy content cal calendar, and complete the task and go and find out what video comes next in the series.